Hello, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode, Soul of a Diamond. And I have my beautiful friend all the way from New York. I want to give you the smaller place that you did, and I could not remember what's the smaller place, but you can tell us now. So I just quickly want to mention I'm going to introduce my beautiful Giovanna now. So, my beautiful diamond beauties, if you give us love, just remember I will not give you a shout out because this is a special show, Soul of a Diamond, and we're going to hear beautiful Giovanna's story. But I will show your love that you bestow on us. So, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, are you excited as me? I have changed my background to the moon and reflection on water. And when I was looking for something to have for this specific show, Giovanna always go to a beautiful place where there's lots of water and the reflection on that water. And when I saw this one with the moon, I knew this is what I want to have. So my beautiful Giovanna, this is my first time with the new Canva background. I want to say thank you so much for being in my life. You are such an inspiration for me. It was one of the best things that I ever did when I said to Ronnie, said to us, please meet this amazing lady. And we were crying just before the show. We were like, amazing. If you can please introduce yourself, and then I want to show you something I made for you. And then after that, we will be going into your story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanef, for having me here. You are a blessing to me and everyone who comes across you for sure. My name is Giovanna Tartarone, and I am a life coach. I went into helping others see the light, the beauty within them, because my story, which you will hear later, I needed to see that in order to be here, right here with you guys. So I'm excited to share my story because it's no different than anyone else's story. And we all, we're here on earth trying to live the best life we could. But then when things go wrong, we ask ourselves why. And the answer is really within us. There's no one that has the answers but us. And I went through this journey where I discovered why. And this is what I'm going to share today.
I'm looking forward to it. So, my beautiful Giovanna, may I please play your beautiful video I made for you?
Sure.
Thank you. Here we go.
6 years ago, I thought I was alone and I was in a very dark place. And I didn't know that if I held on to my faith and believed that everything was going to be okay, that I would be here standing here. The message for today is have faith, believe, because you deserve to live a great life. So if you're in that dark place, know that there is light. There is light. I know you can't see it, but know that you're meant to live a beautiful life and enjoy what God has given us. Look at this beauty here. What do you believe? Believe that you deserve the best. It's here for us.
Wow. What do you
Trying
think?
not to cry. I'm trying not to cry. We do deserve the best. We did get a chance of life. And we don't know how precious it is until we almost lose it. So my story is, I was born in Italy. And I was supposed to be named Giovanni. But I was a girl. My mom thought she was having a boy, right? I was going to be named after my grandfather. So when I came out and made my debut, it became Giovanna. And we moved here when I was about 7 years old. In second grade, I started school. And I realized that being a foreigner, an immigrant, people noticed right away just by my name. So my sister was Maddalena, and I had Maria, Domenico, and Cristoforo, and Chris. So we all had Italian names, but we were targeted because we were different just by our names, right? So we were bullied. We had fights in school. It wasn't pleasant. We lived a very fearful life when we came here. And I realized I needed to make a change because it just wasn't pleasant going to school every day, feeling like, okay, here's another day where we're going to have a hard day, right? So my sister and I decided, we used to carry an English dictionary in our pocket all the time because we didn't understand English. So it was like our little, voice to figure out what people were saying. So one day I said to my sister, we have to change our names. I became Joanne. My sister became Marilyn. So Marilyn after Marilyn Monroe. She's like, I'm gonna be. He has a dimple right here, so she exactly looked like Marilyn Monroe with the blonde hair and the dimple, the beauty mark. And I became Joanne after my second grade teacher because she was so beautiful, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna be Joanne. So all our lives, growing up, everyone had to call me Joanne. Like I made it strict, Joanne. So Joanne became my new name. Well, Joanne, once she left home, so my father was very, very strict. He protected us very well. And the first opportunity we got to escape, we did. So at age 18, I left and met my husband. And well, at the time was my boyfriend, and he's my husband now, over 30 years. But no one could call me anything else but Joanne. So Joanne now became my new identity. And once I left home, I needed to be successful, right? I needed to show everyone I left home, but I'm going to make it. So through my life, I worked very hard. Went to school at night to get my degrees, took care of the family. There was no time for me. It was all about what can I get to live a better life? Who can I please to make happy? Always putting myself on the back burner. And this went on for decades, more than 2 decades of just going to school at night. For 23 years, on and off, I had my children. I stopped a little bit. I went back in, and life gets harder because you have children now. And then I went back to school. So when my son was 8, he developed seizures, like petit mals, which is a form of seizure. And at that time, I was in corporate America, having a great job, great career. And I was 7 months pregnant. And I called my girlfriend and I said, Val, I said, my son Robert just stares at me. What is this all about? Like, that sounds like mini seizures. I go, seizures? What are seizures? And I'm at my desk in the office and I type petit mal seizures. And I thought I was going to faint because I had no idea that it's actually a condition, a disease. And I'm like, how did he get this? And my mind just went crazy. So now I spend time trying to do that research, going to school. It was just nonstop fighting against fear, basically, is what I can say. And I remember a teacher, 4th grade teacher, said to me, don't worry about his academics right now. Take care of him. It's like she was the beacon of light for me that made the sun shine. She's like, you know what? He'll catch up. Let's make him feel good. Academics are important, but not as important as your health, right? Because if you don't have your health and he's not feeling good, what good is the academics? So I remember her saying that. And one day I come home and I said to my husband, I'm going to be a special education teacher. And he goes, what? You just finished school. I go, I know, but what I'm doing is not, something's missing. And what this teacher did for me and our family, and he's like, what about the finances? How are we going to pay the bills? I'm like, we have to trust that everything's going to be okay. God is going to take care of us, whatever it is. I believe in God. Some people may believe there's a higher power within us that is guiding us. And I said, we're going to be okay. I don't know how, but we're going to be okay. So I continued working full time, going to school at night for my second master's in education. And that led me to be a teacher of students with autism. Can I tell you the feeling in my heart to watch these children smile, be loved, when the whole world is looking at them like they don't deserve, they can't be anything or anyone, right? So I loved the work that I did with the children. And then a little bit before that work, I was just working with a special education population, not specifically autism, but with all different disabilities. I get a surprise. And the surprise is I get diagnosed with breast cancer. And I never forget the day. It was Good Friday, right before Easter of 2017. And I'm sitting at my desk. And he says to me, I'm so sorry. You have cancer. He was talking. I wasn't even listening to what he was saying. My mind was just going, how could this happen? Why am I getting punished? Right? Got off the phone, shut the light, went into the closet. And I said, why me? What did I do? Why me? Why? And I kept asking. And then I just heard this silent voice say, why not? And I couldn't understand what that meant. And now I know that meant, why do you want to live? That's what that meant. And I had lost my mom at age 30. I still have the hole in my heart. I miss her so much. Then I had lost my father in 2015 when I was 15 years later, I believe. And knowing that my kids would be left without a parent was unacceptable. I was not going to accept, because the pain which still resides within me, I did not want my children to have that. There was no way. My daughter, my son and my daughter are 9 years apart. So when I thought I was done and I threw everything away and gave everything away, I get pregnant again. And my daughter, out of 11 grandkids, is the only one that doesn't know Grandma Bianca. Oh, Nonna Bianca is really what we say. And so she made her debut 9 years later. And to me, she's that symbol of love that given to me from my mom to help me through this pain and this journey that I was going to go on. And both my kids, and my husband, if it wasn't for my family, I would not be here, right? Because love is what keeps us strong. The relationship, the knowing that, they're there to protect you and love you, makes you feel safe and worthy of living, right? We can't live and think that by ourselves, without anybody else, we're going to have a great life. It just doesn't work like that. True. So my journey of going through changing my name and going after the material stuff I had to have the job title and the nice cars and the nice house, and that's what I was working for, stopped me in my tracks when I got the cancer. And what I realize now is that through my cancer journey, I needed to go back to being my authentic self. It was not about the degree, the house, the money. It wasn't about that. It was about inside. So why did I want to be alive? Because I wanted to be there for my kids. That's really what mattered to me. But deeply knowing that I was not going to accept death was the force that kept me going. That there is no way, no matter what the report said, what the test said, and no matter how I felt, no matter what needed to be done, I went under a 12-hour procedure. I knew in my heart, it might not have been the same, but I knew I was going to make it. And when you go into that level of knowing, you're working from your soul. And I'm going to say it like it is right now, and some of you may agree or may not agree. We were always taught, that we have a soul. The truth is, you are a soul. You don't have one. You are a soul. And when you listen to your soul, it is always guiding you into the direction that you're meant to be. When you're not listening to your soul, you find yourself not at peace. And I realized that by changing my name and becoming somebody who I wasn't listening to my soul. I was listening to everything outside of me. So I have a master's degree in banking, a master's degree in education. I'm certified as an esthetician, which is a skincare specialist. I have my real estate license. I kept going and going, and learning never ends. But as I look back, I say I kept going because I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't fulfilled. There was always something missing. Always something missing. Now, after my journey, I went back to my authentic self. I am Giovanna, and I am proud to be Giovanna. And when you're working from your authentic self, there's that inner peace. That inner peace that no matter what is going on outside of me, I know I'm not going to let it affect me because I feel safe. I feel safe. And when you feel safe, it's a whole different, you see the world very differently. So my cancer journey led me down to digging into that, answering that question, why? So I went into personal development. And right between COVID, when we were home, right, I did my schoolwork. And then afterwards, now that you don't have to travel on the road, there was so much time to spend. I started going and getting into personal development with Bob Proctor. So I watched the movie The Secret, and I just love that because, it's about law of attraction, and we think there's something weird about that. Well, no. Well, we live in a universe full of laws, and if you follow the laws, right, you will live a happier life. When you're struggling, there's some type of law that you're not considering. That's how I see it now. So I got into personal development, and I started really studying me, right? All my degrees and all the studies that I've done in the past was to study and to obtain skills I was working from the outside in.
Yes.
Instead of working from the inside out. Right? So that why question that I had to answer was, looking from within, saying, why do I want this? What am I trying to achieve? And what I realized through this self-discovery, and one of my famous teachers is Dr. Wayne Dyer, right? And I remember he said, in each of us, there's two of us. There's the ego
Yes.
that is earth guided only.
Wow.
Earth guided only. And then there's the sacred self, which is a higher self, our soul, our intuition. There are so many names for it, but it's that little voice that guides you that sometimes says, stay away or go for it. You can do it, right? So that's the sacred self. And the sacred self is always saying, go for it, do it, do it, do it, because it wants to experience more from you. But the ego, the earth guided only, is the one that we learn, that we grow up with, right? You got to do this, and everything's outside of us. We're trying to reach that title, that we feel like we have to do it all by ourselves. It's getting those, we become based on the value of money we have in the bank, or the salary. Your title makes you who you are, and all of that earthbound stuff, I realize now, is not as important as following your sacred self, following your heart. And that's what I'm learning through when we start asking questions and answering them ourselves. It's, what does our heart desire? Does it feel good? Because your emotions will guide your life. Your emotions are the answers to your actions. I'm sorry, your emotions create your actions.
Yes.
Right? But a lot of us are not trusting ourselves, are not giving, because we're so busy. We're so busy getting that job, making that money, looking outside of us for someone to make us happy, right? Wanting to be right. A lot of relationships don't make it because one person has to be right. It doesn't work like that. Being in harmony with everything and everyone, now you're working in harmony. Now you're working with your sacred self. And the reward for working from your sacred self is having peace. Peace. And that is exactly, if we think about it, working from the ego side. You want to have peace, freedom, money, and freedom, right? You want to have all of that, but you can't have it by disregarding your soul. It just does not work. What I learned through my studies is that we must have harmony between body, mind, and spirit. You cannot just be intellectually sound and forget about your soul and forget about your body, right? And think, oh, let me eat. Oh, I'm going to study. I'm going to get my degrees. I'm going to, intellectually, you're very bright. Now, how many people do you know that are out there that are very bright but can't make it, or not happy?
I know a lot.
Right? So I know now, it's the trust that comes within us. The trust, that believing. And, there's a difference between, and this is another thing he says, there's a difference between something, there's a knowing. There's a knowing that no matter what's going on outside of us, there's a knowing that you're going to be okay and you're going to make it. and that you deserve everything you want. You know, you cannot think of something if it's not meant for you. These ideas that you have, right? If you want to be a singer, it came to you because you can do it. It wouldn't come to you. Like if you thought, oh, I want to be a pianist, it wouldn't come to you if that's not meant for you. But
I never thought about that. Wow.
the ideas that come to you, it's because your soul is saying, hey, you can do this. This is meant for you. Now, you can look at every reason why that is impossible. But there is something in the Bible that says there's nothing impossible. All is possible. All is possible. That leaves nothing out. And what does that mean? That means you have to trust yourself. Everything starts with us. Everything. But it starts within us. And when I studied the mind, my personal growth, I studied the mind for many years, especially, and I started with my son, understanding what seizures were in the brain. So, and the synapses, and, when we make new connection, there's so I went through that study, and that opened up my mind to know that when I led into personal development, studying with Bob Proctor's, understanding how the mind works. Well, the mind, we can't see it. Everyone thinks the mind is the brain. I'm sorry. That is not accurate. The brain, we can see it's an organ, right? It's a physical thing. We can't see the mind. And what I understand is the mind is what rules your life. In the mind, we have a conscious mind and subconscious mind, right? 95% of what you do every day is by program. It's programmed in your mind. You brush your teeth, you get up, you get dressed. These are all programs that are habits that are in your mind that guide you. And if you write with your right hand, try writing with your left hand. It's going to be very difficult because you're programmed to write with your right hand. So what happens here is that when we're working from the subconscious mind and it drives our life, there's a lot of the subconscious mind stores all events, whether they are good or bad, they're stored there, right? And if I take you right now to a wedding that you went to, you could picture yourself dancing, having a great time, right? Because there's a memory that you have that takes you there and brings you joy and happiness. In a split moment, I can take you to a funeral where you lost a loved one and you can start to cry. Just think. So your mind stores these memories. And what I understand and what I've learned is that when we've been affected by trauma in our life, it prevents us from being the best version of us. Yes. Right? And what needs to happen in order for us to live a great life is that we need to transform those situations and forgive. There's a man who's a mentor in the program I do with Napoleon Hill Institute. His name is Gary Chapman. And I'll never forget, he said, in order to live life in harmony, he said there's 4 things that we must embrace and try to use every day. He says 1 is to love yourself unconditionally. You're first. If you can't love yourself first, you can't love anyone else. Don't look for others to make you happy. Make yourself happy first. 2, forgive everyone. Forgive everyone. Because when you forgive, you're actually allowing yourself to be unstuck, right? Because when you're holding a grudge against someone, revenge, those are low emotions, right? By forgiving them, you're actually opening up the doors. You're opening up your heart, right? To receive the good. 3 is it's gonna come to me, I'm sorry. Don't judge. Do not judge. No, there's an old saying, judge a book by its cover. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you have no idea what that person's life has been like. Treat everyone as if you know them. Don't judge, because what you're actually doing, when you're thinking of a thought and you're judging someone and it's coming through your mind and your voice, you're actually judging yourself.
Exactly.
You're judging yourself first. So when you say, oh, that person is stupid, excuse my language, guess what? You just called yourself stupid. Oh, it's just, don't judge. And the 4th thing is, do all those 3 intentionally. Intentionally love yourself.
I love that.
Intentionally go in the mirror and say, I love you. You know that video that you made in the bathroom?
Yes.
That is intentionally looking at yourself and saying, I love you for who you are. Because everything you do, you do it to be better, right? But if you don't acknowledge it first, you can't expect someone to say, you're great. Oh, you're wonderful. If you don't believe it first. And the magical part of all this is, if I call you beautiful, Sinette, I couldn't see it in you if I didn't see it in me.
Exactly.
Right? That beautiful scenery behind me when I go by the water, if I didn't see that being beautiful, then that means I don't see myself being beautiful. Right? So when you do things intentionally, you intentionally forgive someone. You know what? I remember being in the hospital and I wanted peace and I needed to forgive. Because when you do get a second chance at life, if you don't honor that,
Yes.
you will go through hardship again. Now I know that my cancer journey or my cancer diagnosis was a wake-up call for me to say, stop living from the outside in, live from the inside out, because there's a creator that helped me to be here. And that same creator could have not given me a second chance. How many people haven't made a second chance? So I feel that people who do get a second chance, there's a big reason why. It's to open your heart and find how you can help others.
I love it.
You cannot think that you got a second chance so you can go back and being your old self again. It doesn't work that way. So the challenge for me was, at the time, really letting go and letting God do his magic. I call it, I believe in miracles. Yes, I have to do my part, right? Miracles don't just happen.
Mm.
But I do know that now that I look at life in a different way, that is so precious. It's a gift. You know, I made a video one time about, when you receive that beautiful gift, that, diamond bracelet or whatever, and it's so precious to you, and you make sure it's always nice and clean, and you wear it for a special occasion, and you treat it so well. Like, we literally treat items better than we treat ourselves.
True.
And that is not the way it's meant to be. So doing things intentionally, forgiving someone intentionally, show them love. I go from now, from on driving on the highway, and somebody wants to get in front of me, and I'm like, go for it, have fun. I'll meet you on the other side, and we'll talk about it. I don't get upset anymore. I truly do not get upset over anything anymore. And you know what? I'm creating that peace within me. When you're in control of your mind, you have a wholly different life. The reason is we're too much in our mind and not in our heart.
Yes.
The world is the way it is because we're too much in the mind, not in the heart. And a lot of people are feeling the pain, right? We're feeling the pain of what's going on in this world. So I know for myself, and I speak for, but I know God is working through me. And I feel that the message and the words that I'm saying today, hopefully will open up some hearts to know you're never alone. You're never alone. That heart of yours is beating. What do you think is making it beat? Oh, a part in your body? There's some life force that is in charge.
Mm.
From one day to the next, you don't know if you're going to wake up the next morning.
True.
So now my life totally changed. I have more gratitude than ever for just waking up and breathing. Every morning I get up, I have a ritual now. The first thing I do is go get my little espresso and sit at a desk, light a candle, and give gratitude in my journal and be silent. Here's what I understand, and I know there's a knowing that when you're quiet, when you place your hand on your heart, when you ask the question, whatever answer you need, it will come to you. We're taught to pray, to say, God, please help this world get better, right? The normal way of praying. But what I understand, if you give gratitude that it's already here, because He's done it already.
Yes.
He's done it. So it's saying, thank you for making this world a better place. Don't have the fear, because having fear, you can't possibly be in faith. Right? Faith will always win. Fear will take you down. And if you're not religious, I'm not talking about faith just in God, but faith in yourself. That you can make it on the other side. Where there is darkness, there is light. There's the law of polarity, one of the laws of the universe.
Yes.
On, off, up, down. Well, if you're in that dark place, you have to know there's the light. And asking for help, there's two things that people have a hard time doing. Is asking for help and saying I'm sorry.
Wow.
And those two things alone will make your life turn around, will guide you to where you need to be. And for me, all these lessons that I've learned through my journey is what I help my clients with. Because when they connect to their heart and they know that, to trust, to know that you're meant to live life, not struggling. Oh my goodness, I look back in my life, I go, I did all of that thinking I was going to be on top of the world. And then I get knocked down, very, very down, right? And I could have said, why me? And stay comfortable and lay there and cry every day and not get out of the dark. I did not accept that. I did not accept that. And it doesn't have to be a cancer diagnosis. To me, I had a lot of little knocks on the door. I had fallen a few times. A lot of things, little things that I'm like, okay, I'll get better, get back on my feet. But those were little knocks on the door to say, stop doing what you're doing. Sometimes we're not listening.
Yes.
Now I'm always listening. If there's a number or there's a name or something, there's a message for me. And I realize that messages come to us in so many different forms. Right? We are 99% of us are born healthy. Why do we end up with all these diseases? To say this is inherited from my father, my mother, my grandfather, I learn now that's maybe just a little of the truth. Because if you're living the same lifestyle as your father and mother, your grandparents, of course you're going to have the same diseases, right? I studied Dr. Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief. And he says epigenetics, right? He talks about the genetic part of us, that the cells in our bodies they act based on our environment. So what is your environment? Is it a healthy environment that you're in? Your mind, when I say it's very powerful, it's very powerful. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, if your mind can make you sick, can your mind make you well?
Wow.
So if you take that alone, right, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, and just let it go and not really take that seriously, and you have health issues, I would say rethink about that. With all my studies through my years, I never came to study me.
Wow.
Never did anyone say, let's look at you. As a teacher, I know that we focus on the weaknesses, right? What does a child lack? Let's give him more of that so we can make him strong there. Here's what I know now. If I would have said, what is the child good at? Let's focus on that. Now the child feels confident. The child feels he's able to do it. He feels strong, right? So how many kids are heartbroken that they feel they're not good enough? And guess what I learned? I learned that if you're not good enough when you're young, as you're getting older, you feel the same. Because that emotional impact, I'm not good enough, lays in your heart. So now you don't feel you're good enough to get well. You're not good enough to achieve this or achieve that. So you kill your dreams and your passion and your goals because you don't feel like you're good enough. So all of that, when I started to study myself, just became an eye-opener. But here's what I also know, is that what I studied and what I know and what took me from dark to light is not for me to keep. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift that I received, that I cherish. And in this treasure, it's for me to give. It's not for me. So for those who work with me will know that they're going to tap into their and follow their heart, and they will reach the state of peace. Because when you have a state of peace, now you're able to do bigger and better things because you know who you are. You know what you want to do. You're going after your passion and a purpose. Right? I understand in this world, if you think it's all about you, it's wrong. It's all about we. We are here to support each other. And when you think in those terms, all the great stuff starts to happen. You're given everything you need by people. Situations will happen. You'll meet great people. You'll get where you want to be, and even bigger things happen that you can imagine. And that's exactly what's happening to me. Because I know now it's not about me. I'm not on this earth to just make Giovanna happy. No way. I'm on this earth to help other people be happy. Because there's too much going on where we forget about, we work from the ego. Earth guided only. And it doesn't work like that. So, again, I'm here to support those who are just finding the difficulty to connect to their heart. You're very special. If you think about how many people are not here, didn't make it, and you're here. Life is precious. Life is what you make it. You create your own reality. When I started studying Napoleon Hill's principles, and anybody can pick up this book, it's all about having the confidence that you can make it. But you have to be disciplined. You have to create new habits. You got to know that it's not just about you. If you're doing something that impacts the world, you'll be given everything you need to do it. Right? But if you're doing something that is just for you, to get that next title, to get that next, you might get it, but it won't last long because you're working. And it happened to me, right? Getting that next title, you just get knocked down because it's just not just about you. When are we most happy? Is when we're around people.
Yes.
We had the lockdown and people, opening up these Zoom meetings and calls was a way to stay connected, even though everything was shut down. If we didn't have that, there's a lot of people that still suffer today. They are alone. They don't know how to use computers, right? So being alone is never good. Always seek for help. Know that you're not going through what you're going through and you're not the only one. And there is people out here to help. And to think, oh, I don't have the money, and let that be your first decision making. You have no idea if the other person will say, it's okay. I'll work with you anyway. Right? But we're living on fear versus faith, love, and gratitude. Give gratitude for everything you have in your life. Every little thing. Because when you are in that state of gratitude, you will receive more. Volunteer your time. Because what you put out there, you're going to get back. I just did a show yesterday about giving. What you put out there, you're going to get back. If you think the world is against you, how can you receive anything good? If you feel like you're a victim of what's going on outside of you, how can you receive anything good? Right? So I want to thank you so much, Sanef, for really having me here and sharing my story. Because I said, my story to me, it's not for me to keep. My journey is not for me to keep. What I've learned is for me to share. So help others, lift them up and rise. We're meant to live a beautiful life here. And everyone can do this. I'm not special. We all have gifts within us. And I will show you your gifts. I will guide you to your gifts. And that's why I'm here. So I appreciate you so much for giving me the time to share my story. I love you.
Oh, I love you. My beautiful Giovanna, you had so many nuggets, and I do. If I get goosebumps, especially here around my neck area, I normally grab my glasses and I put my hot glasses on. But I did show once because if it was not, I would have kept it on the whole time because everything you mentioned, everything is so important. And yes, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring us. But if we can have today and make the best day for today, then we are even more beautiful off for tomorrow because we started to believe in ourselves. So I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. My mission also in life is to tell people love yourself unconditionally. Make yourself the best person in your life. Because if you can do that, you can do a lot of other things and love other people. So, my beautiful Giovanna, thank you for your beautiful message, for your beautiful heart. I've written a song, but I could not get the lady to sing it for me. But I have a beautiful gentleman that have um, given us the word. He was reading the words. And it is Soul of a Diamond. So, are you ready to hear Dr. Michael Alexander renditioning the song I've written?
Yes.
Let me go and play it. Here we go.
Moments of moving from here to there between the star and the moon's soft glare capture a glimpse of light so rare, radiant and shining, our hearts declare for the world to see in love's grand affair. Moments of our lives that are filled with laughter keep us going, hearts thrilled, capture the essence of who we are in the spirit of a child like a shooting star. Moments to share our true stories so bright, not only for the world to heal, take flight, but to remind us how amazing we are. Forever moving forward, a radiant star to create magic near and far. In the radiance of each heart's soft glow, we find the strength to carry on and grow. Shining bright, our love doth show in every moment, from dusk till dawn's soft flow. Radiant hearts, we shine so bright in the diamond moments of love and light. Together we rise, our spirits take flight in the beauty of each day and every night. With courage in our soul.
Wow. I hope you laughed at.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And then we've got 2 more minutes. Can you give us and the beautiful viewers and the beautiful diamond beauties a message, please?
Open your heart. Listen to your heart. It's got beautiful messages for you. Follow your heart. It's never wrong. It's one thing that you can trust, that it leads you to the path where you need to be. Look inside for answers, not outside.
It's beautiful. And you are beautiful, my beautiful one. Thank you for bestowing your wisdom on us. I love you very, very much.
Thank you, everyone.
My beautiful diamond beauties, I hope that you have enjoyed this amazing show. Giovanna's story will be also, the abstract will also be in the Diamond Moment magazine for November. We will have 4 Soul of a Diamond beautiful ladies stories in there. I want to wish you all a beautiful day. Please look after yourself. Smile often and keep on dancing. Bye,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.